Hello, everybody. It is I, your second king of Five Nights at Freddy's, and this is Devin-Foxy Remastered, everybody. Welcome back, as always. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, what I have to show you today, and what I have to show you guys right here, is that here's what I'm going to say, is I'm going to show you guys all the animatronics, and of course, the security guards, and of course, the villain of all, the real purple guy, which, yes, he's next to the fake purple guy that was currently in Springtrap right now, so that's all I have to show you guys right now. So anyway, before I definitely show you guys all the animatronics and the characters, well, before anyone does try to tell me in the comments is that, are you going to suggest bringing out the Phantoms? Well, the answer to that question is that no, I'm not going to probably mention about the Phantoms. The only thing I'll mention about the Phantoms is when the second movie that I'm still planning in season 2 to definitely be finished. You know, if I ever were to finish the whole thing of like the whole FNAF 2 thing exactly that needs to kind of get successful and be done, that's when I'll mention about the Phantoms. You know, that, like I said, I'll mention about the Phantoms and will briefly mention about them if I ever can. So that's probably what I'm going to tell you guys already and right now. So anyways, I'm going to definitely count how many animatronics and, of course, well, 2 or 3 security guards, or should I say, meant to say 2 security guards and 1 CEO, that's David Parks, and pretty much the killer who started it all, which is the real purple guy, which you guys are about to see anyway. So before we get into this, by the way, I'm about to show you guys all the characters from FNAF 1, 2, and maybe a little less hidden reveal of FNAF 3, but you guys know what I'm talking about here. But anyway, I'm about to show you guys all the characters. So, as of now, everybody, here he is, Freddy Fazbear. Yep, there he is. He's next to Bonnie and Chica, which, you know, those are like the main first animatronics, by the way, that were definitely, oh, back in the good old days of FNAF. The original, exactly, that was definitely Bonnie and Foxy and Chica, Cupcake, Golden Freddy, and Shadow Freddy, which you guys can definitely see them pretty much from here, there, and of course, right over there. So, anyway, those are definitely the FNAF 1 characters, which of course that, well, for David Parks, by the way, I'll make this an exceptional that David Parks is from definitely like the first, the second, the third, and well, let's say probably the last, that is FNAF 4, which of course I'm not going to mention about the other version of the animatronics, which no, I'm not saying that out loud, I'm just saying that, well, from David Parks' appearances, he only appears at 4 of them. He only appears at 4, not anywhere than 5th, 6th, or pretty much the UCN, which refers to the other game. So the answer is probably to no, that he probably won't be appearing to any of those ones. Well, except his death will probably be somewhere like number 3 or somewhere a little bit back in the time of a flashback. You know, before Fredbear's Family Diner was still a thing exactly, which that's going to probably be another interesting reveal to those questions. So, if you guys understand what I'm referring to and what I'm talking about, that's what I'm actually talking about, by the way. That is just what I'm definitely talking about. So, anyways, going to show you guys more of these characters right here, so you guys can definitely see all of them. So, yep, there's the characters right here, all the way instantly from right here, so those are definitely the characters. And yeah, so pretty much. And oh yeah, for those who do not know about Jeremy Fitzgerald, he's right over there next to Unwithered Chica and Toy Bonnie, which, yes, Jeremy Fitzgerald is going to definitely be starting to probably be like the main character, or he'll probably suggest giving the role back to Mike Schmidt if he ever does get killed by another animatronic, which that is going to be one hell of a reveal, but I really don't know who might kill him. But I think for one way or another, he's going to either survive or he probably won't. So we're going to have to kind of see what happens anyway, further notice. But anyway, continue with the rest. And there's pretty much the toy animatronics, and there they are. So, yep, there's BB. And there's pretty much the toy animatronics, which of course they're going to start like the whole second movie that I'm going to probably start to do on the 4th channel that I probably will do. And the second season I will definitely do with all these other characters that are all the way on the second row, like referring to this guy over there, that is BB, and of course the Withered animatronics, the toy animatronics, and pretty much all those other characters exactly. Which, yes, it probably is going to make more sense that all of these characters will definitely be in fact revealed. So these characters, well, they're definitely going to be revealed. That it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then 22. Like, yes, those are going to be 22 characters, by the way, who are actually going to be revealed in different places, that they're going to be revealed from different timeline loops, because of course that, well, we didn't kind of reveal about his story, because I know that he, by the way, kind of missed out the whole first movie, since I think he'll probably make an appearance, by the way. Like, I mean, this guy will definitely appear one more time, by the way, in the second one, before he becomes one of those guys right there that I'm pointing my fingers to, from here and there, and of course right over there exactly. So yeah, those are going to definitely be his versions, if somehow he does get killed, or in fact he probably won't get killed. It's just how, like, a shadow's a shadow, because the old saying goes, by the way, is that you can't kill a shadow. Well, there's a different thing where different shadows get killed or not get killed. It's just how Shadow Freddy kind of relives his kind of time a little bit, so that's probably why he'll be relevant to the conversation, because he will definitely somehow, by the way, will appear in the second movie or season 2, frankly, or a little bit of like a different flashbacks that he'll appear. So that's pretty much why it's very important, by the way, that these characters in the second row are going to get a shot, by the way, of a good shot being in 2 different projects that I'm going to be talking about, is the movie and season, which, yes, I explained it on a live stream earlier and a few live streams ago, which are going to be confirmed pretty true. And the only jump scare test I've mentioned earlier too is I haven't really like tested the other characters yet, which of course I only tested the toy animatronics and Unwithereds. But pretty much likely not the Withered animatronics themselves. No. I have not really got them done to do all that, so pretty much. And Withered Shadow Freddy or Shadow Bonnie, well, they're not going to do jump scares, because I don't think they will ever be confirmed to do jump scares by now, so that's probably why they won't do that. So that's a pretty much good question. And yes, by the way, as I said before, that there's the real purple guy right there on the left, and there's the fake purple guy, where he instantly died in that Springlock suit that I mentioned about the MET video about Springtrap. So for those who didn't see the MET video, yes, there's Springtrap, and there he is already. So if you guys can see him, that's what I'm talking about. For those who didn't see the MET videos earlier, then I suggest you definitely check them out and definitely take a look at it, so that way you guys won't miss a single video for each character to make a very interesting comeback in return. That I'm going to say that yes, all these characters, as are seen right here from right now, that all these characters are definitely going to come back right on the channel and will immediately, and I say this for an immediately part by the capital I, that I'm going to say all these characters are definitely going to be coming back, which means that the characters are going to come back, which means I'm referring to the FNAF 1 characters are going to return, but they're only going to return into YouTube Shorts. That's what they're going to probably do, is that they're only going to be in YouTube Shorts, which they mean they can still do reaction videos, or whatever they're going to have to do. But like I said, another role is going to be another role. You know, I'm referring to like the characters on the second row and the back row a little bit from here. Not Springtrap, because he's not going to probably be appearing in somewhere. He only will appear once, and I think I'm not too sure if he might appear more, but I think he'll like appear less, that he might be over there. So that's pretty much why I'm going to give the role to these characters right in the second row, like literally in the second row, that yes, these characters are the second characters are going to get a good role and potential roles than the first characters are going to do, which the first characters can either A, do YouTube shorts, because I mean, they could probably still do that, so that's why I'm giving you guys a bit of an interesting offer to know why the characters in the bottom row are pretty much going to do YouTube shorts, and that's pretty much why I want to mention to you guys already right now that I'm just deciding to have characters appear more stuff oftenly, since I will have to say in full honesty and gratitude that we're just gonna have to kind of see what they're gonna do, and this is just like a snippet peek a little bit for everyone else to kind of see the characters are back officially. But like I said about the whole so-called laptop issue, that the characters will have to kind of wait and be revealed once they come back. But I wanted to show you guys this kind of snippet a little bit, that the characters are back eventually, which means they're back. And also, by the way, for that I mentioned earlier in the beginning about the Phantoms, well, the Phantoms, like I said, of FNAF 3, well, I'm not too sure how that's going to kind of work out. I think what I might have to make a little guess here a little bit is that the Phantoms will somehow reappear, by the way. That yes, they're going to reappear, by the way, and just say somehow that the Phantoms will definitely reappear exactly, and well, they're just going to like reappear, and like after when the second film of my second channel's done and season 2 is done, that's when like I said, I'll bring the Phantoms over here and just team up with Springtrap, because I know that they're gonna have to probably either do that either way. So that's probably what I'm going to mention to you guys about the interesting future for these interesting characters to have a good role of a spot that, even though I do good voices of these characters, automatically good. So hopefully if you guys are excited for these interesting futures to happen, the second top of the row, by the way, in the middle row are going to get a feature that they're going to probably get, which means that they're going to have a spotlight a little bit, and the same rivalry is going to involve him and, of course, him, that yes, two Freddys are going to have a rivalry with each other, which means, yes, it's going to be about the stage, blah, 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 the stage and stuff, yes, 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 and a lot about that. So, yes, Unwithered Freddy and Toy Freddy, and pretty much so-called Withered Freddy, are definitely going to have a rivalry with each other, so that's probably why that's going to be confirmed anyway, for both of those characters to have a rivalry. Now, Unwithered Bonnie and Withered Bonnie, which they're going to probably be the same character and same voice, but the voice, like I said about with the animatronics earlier, they're going to kind of like malfunction to do a bit of glitches a couple times to kind of do that for 5 seconds, or whatever the seconds are going to probably be. That yes, he, by the way, is going to have a rivalry with Toy Bonnie. That yes, they're going to be rivals. Unwithered Chica, and of course, Withered Chica, well, they're going to have a rivalry with Toy Chica, by the way. And of course, my favorite, Unwithered Foxy and Withered Foxy are going to have a rival with Mangle. And I don't think BB's going to have a rival exactly. I don't think he will probably have any rivals to deal with. So I think he's probably good at the only time that I think he's good right now. So, that's pretty much good for him. But now, the puppet, by the way, is going to have a rivalry with Withered Golden Freddy, apparently. And pretty much the two other shadows, by the way, that I'm revealing to pretty much say that it will be Withered Freddy and Shadow Bonnie. That yes, most of these rivalries are going to be a little bit interesting and complex, that most of these characters will have a good spotlight and a very interesting path forward by knowing how all this is going to turn out in its favor. And oh yeah, shoot, I forgot to kind of bring out the other characters earlier. That's like the Withered Sonic characters, which of course I'll have to go get that, which, yeah, unfortunately, that like I said, that well, I'll be right back, and I'll go ahead and bring them out here, and, just show you guys where they're going to go exactly for which characters are going to move, so be right back. Alright, folks, so here they are. The Withered Sonic animatronics are here. That Withered Shadow and Withered Classic Sonic and Withered Super Sonic are going to be appearing in the second season and movie, which means, of course, that they're going to work for the hands of pretty much Shadow Freddy and Purple Guy, which, yes, it's going to relate to the same story for those who do or don't know that, yes, whatever the same story is, that, yes, it's going to relate in the same story, which means it's going to relate into the second season. Of course, that the characters will come back eventually, so, yes, they will come back. As I say before, as I promise, that the characters will come back, which even though that they are losing their parts of the condition, which sometimes I like to call them Withered Sonic Animatronics, because it kind of makes sense to kind of fit that reason, so that's probably why I'd say that. And oh yes, before anyone does tell me that, Withered Sonic, by the way, is pretty lucky that it means that Withered Sonic, by the way, is going to somehow be with Springtrap, by the way, in the third location, which means we pretty much are not going to see Withered Sonic until the third thing happens, by the way. And oh yes, Withered Shadow, by the way, we'll pretty much have to use the Withered Chaos on him. Not really sure, but it kind of does depend a little bit that... Not really sure for what Withered Shadow is going to do, but I think it might only guesses, by the way, what I can really make, and make an interesting prediction, by the way, that I think a little bit in my head a little bit, was I think that Withered Shadow, by the way, is definitely going to kind of somehow escape, but somehow he might nearly die if he probably does, but if he doesn't, by the way, well, he'll just walk it off and he'll just probably disappear, and he'll probably step into the shadows and disappear and kind of escape, which even though that the characters won't see him go, but we'll kind of see what happens if some characters don't see him disappear, which, it probably would be a different thing to see what happens, but unfortunately we're just going to have to kind of figure out and find out a little bit of information and a little bit of news to see what's going to happen with the Withered Sonic animatronics, which, by the way, that I know that Withered Sonic won't appear in the second season or movie. He'll just kind of naturally team up with Springtrap, because, I mean, for me, I think for my answer, he'll just team up with Springtrap, by the way. He'll just automatically team up with Springtrap, and he'll more likely be like a, more likely have like a special role, that he's going to be more likely an outcaster, which means he's going to probably be outside the whole thing, which means he probably won't appear often. He only will somehow kind of be hidden away, or it might be somewhere else. I probably would assume that's just kind of around in Fazbear's Fright, which means he'll probably be around, but it means that he'll probably not be revealed as much. He'll only will have another story for him just to kind of have a different set of ways for him to be more dramatically evil, or dramatically evil, which he probably will have the same kind of evil as Springtrap, but he pretty much won't be the same as per usual. He'll only have a different sound of rage that he'll only will have a little bit from off screen, which means he probably might actually not be as friendly as we might never think to say that we might never see him about. So he used to say that he probably was in his own mood a little bit from the very first season or whatsoever, but until something does happen with him, yes, he is going to work with Springtrap, and he is definitely going to side with him. And for those who do or don't get it, by the way, that yes, it's going to be one of an interesting stories that we might never see in history, a little bit on this fourth channel's history, that we're ever going to kind of see a legendary thing to see what happens. But like I said, I can't reveal season 3 or the third movie of season of the movie of our third movie in our fourth channel, by the way. So until good things does happen, by the way, we're just going to see a very interesting present and see what really happens, by the way. And I know I'm kind of losing a little bit breath a little bit, by the way, because for me, I've been kind of moving around a little bit and just kind of move the characters in here and just show you guys the characters and show you guys interesting possibilities, interesting updates, interesting new things are going to happen, and of course location bios, which means that the characters will officially stay for most likely for different reasons. So that's all I can tell you guys right now. So as I said before, again, we're going to have to kind of see what happens, by the way. And of course, like I mentioned about the hoax purple guy suit, by the way, yes, it is going to be mentioned, by the way, once I order it on Amazon, because I mean, for me, I've been kind of like dealing with other things lately, like the consoles, by the way, earlier that I said in many live streams I mentioned I have to deal with the consoles first, and then that's when I can give another suit for fake purple guy to be in. So that means that he'll actually be alive, which means he'll probably have a special role, which means he won't probably portray to be Springtrap. It's going to be a kind of a different evil that the real purple guy will take the real position and real role for the fake purple guy to not be Springtrap anymore, which means he'll be in another suit for the fake purple guy to have double the revenge and double the fun, which even if he does get transformation by one of the shadow animatronics that's referring to is Withered, Shadow Freddy, and Shadow Bonnie earlier in the middle stuff, that yes, we're going to see their interesting transformation, and of course the voice is still going to stay the same, so that's probably why I'm going to say that, and that's probably why there's going to be a good reveal and a good possibility chance we're going to kind of see something very good. On our 4th channel, by the way, that yes, it means a lot more characters, a lot more rooms, and of course security cameras as per usual as the game, but better, but better though. Just something like, my version of Season 2 in the movie that I'm mentioning earlier, by the way. Only my own ideas, just my ideas, by the way, just only my ideas. That's it. So that's all I want to let you guys know and give you guys a very good information of news that something good is going to come to happen near like we forward away, that we're going to see something good. So if you guys do in fact enjoy these ideas, then let me know again, like I said, in the comments down below, so that way I'll be able to go ahead and read them and check those out. So if you guys are a new person in this channel, definitely, like I said, totally subscribe, and that would be appreciated. Thank you. And subscribe to the 4th channel, and that would be amazing. So this being said, hope that you guys enjoy this video. I'm definitely going to go immediately sign off anyway, and sign right off anyway. So as of now, see you guys next time. See you guys in the next video. And I will see you guys, as always, in the next video. Signing right on out of here. Thank you guys again for watching. As I said before, thank you guys again for watching. And yes, by the way, these, like I said, are the characters that I'm actually showing you guys right now. So if you guys, like I said before, definitely do in fact enjoy all of this, well, you guys are definitely in luck, which means it's a good possibility of news. So as of now, we'll see what happens, and I'm going to get going so that way I don't, I don't know, keep panting a few amount of times, because I mean, Jesus, I know it's a little hot from outside, but it's just like from inside, which of course, well, I'm going to go ahead and just try to take it a little slow for me to deal with all of it anyway. But just let me tell you guys this, that yes, the characters are going to have a good future and have a very interesting part of a good future anyway. So this being said, likewise and always, that it's time, like I said, time to sign off. Time to sign off anyway. And yeah, that's all I have to say. But as of now, thank you guys for watching. See you guys this next time. Absolutely, in the next time, as always, in the next video. Thank you, goodbye, and see you next time. Signing out, sign off, and sign out as always, and see you guys next time. And remember, the 4 things that you guys have to do right away, by the way, is give this video a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified, so that way that you guys won't miss a single video that comes on this channel. So that being said, see you guys later, goodbye, and sign off.